Welcome to the podcast. We're kicking off the 4th season of the podcast, a space designed to have raw, real, and authentic conversations around health and wellness, featuring none other than our incredible pure ambassadors of wellness.
Hi, I'm Victoria.
And I'm Marin.
Hi everyone, my name's Frank.
Hi, and I'm Matthew.
Hi, I'm Misha, she, her, hers, and I'm a senior here at Fresno State.
Hi, my name is Anu. I'm a freshman and my major is biochemistry.
I'll read question 1. Okay. What are some of the ways that you practice healthy exercise and a healthy diet?
That's a really good question. I would say going to the gym. For me, I tend to have a workout routine, so I go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Mondays is usually like a push day, so chest, shoulders, triceps. Wednesday is back and biceps. And then late days Friday, with Saturday being cardio, Sunday being a rest day. And for nutrition, I like to have fruits and veggies with me, so like an apple, bananas, carrots, something simple, something easy to grab.
I would say for me, I try to go to the gym almost every day, and I try to eat healthy.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I think I have a decent balance with healthy exercise. I try to go on like a walk at least every day. Sometimes I run. As far as healthy diets go, I don't know. I'm not too great about that. I'm more of like whatever's easiest kind of person. But I'm trying to pick a salad up from the store versus, something a little more unhealthy, like a box of donuts or something.
That's true, yeah. At least you're getting in something good.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the balance of things, but it's not always easy.
I struggle with that a lot because I'm very busy. I have work, I'm a full-time student, I have pets, I have an apartment that needs to be cleaned all the time. So, I usually sacrifice, healthy food and exercise for everything else. And it's definitely something I need to work on, for sure.
For me, I'd say I also go to the rec center. I would go Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But sometimes Mondays I get a little bit preoccupied with my studies. And so, but yeah, like what you said, Mondays, for me, I would use it for leg days. And then Wednesdays would be upper or lower body. And then Fridays it could be arms or something else. But I try to stay consistent with my exercise regimen, and so like I said, it's Monday leg day, and then Tuesday is rest day, Wednesday upper, and then Thursday lower, and then Friday is something else if I want to. Mm-hmm. And then the weekend exercises I keep it optional unless I'm super busy with my school and stuff. But as for my healthy diet, I would do a meal prep every Sunday. Sunday morning I would cook a breast chicken, I'd say breast chicken, and then I would cut them up into smaller chunks so that each of my meal preps weighs 12 ounces of chicken breast, and then you got white rice, and then another alternative for me, if let's say I'm rushing to school and I don't have my chicken and rice, I would just go to the Panda Express and just order their white rice, their grilled teriyaki chicken, and their I think it's called beef broccoli or broccoli beef.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say that's at least the healthiest, but it may not be, but it's healthy either way, still getting that protein.
Yeah, and if I may add, you even have those food items during our Monday meetings too.
Yeah, Monday meetings.
And,
oh yeah.
And also back to working out, I feel as a student it's hard to have that consistent routine since we're balancing school, work, or free time with working out. But I think it's important to find that time to get yourself fit and active.
Yeah, I agree. Some people, they prefer working out early in the mornings. Others, they prefer after school. But for me, I try to do it midday, lunch, lunch hour, because there's I'd say least amount of people.
Yeah.
But other than that, just I just try to stay consistent. There are times that I may not be consistent because of like I said, school and all of that. But yeah, do you have any other inputs you want to add for question 1?
As for me, like I like to work out in the morning just to get myself ready for the day, and it gives that good boost of energy as well.
Of course, like for me, I'm always busy on campus. I have my classes from morning till evening, so it's really hard to find time for myself. But whenever I get time, I like try to exercise. I try to mix up some exercise. Sometimes I like to run, sometimes cycling, sometimes some stretching exercises and yoga. I try to do it, but I am not very consistent on it. And
That's
when
okay.
when it
As long
comes,
as you're making an effort, you know?
yeah, I am.
Exactly.
But I'm not very strict on it, or I'm not disciplined about it that much.
That's okay. Do you food prep? Are you a food prepper?
Yeah, kind of. I try to.
I want to be a food prepper so bad. I just don't have it in me.
Yeah, I do that. And I think I always keep fruits and nuts in my bag when I'm on campus, just for a quick eating in between classes.
That's a smart idea. Like healthy snack on you. Like
Yeah.
go to.
Mm-hmm.
Question 2 is, does running late to class count as cardio? Why or why not?
I don't think it counts because I feel like with exercise, it's more about like being intentional about what you're doing. And I feel like unless you are like trying to procrastinate so that you can run to class for like 10 minutes, then I feel like it doesn't count. So yeah.
When I rush to class, I feel a burst of energy, but I know it's not the same as doing cardio exercises. So I don't think that it does count as a cardio exercise, because it is not a continuous movement that keeps your heart rate up all the time. So I don't know.
I want to say no, because if, let's say, you parked your car at like the P1 area right next to Kremen, and then you're like running late to class in the Kremen building, I was like, that's not considered cardio, because you're just walking like less than 5 minutes. And let's say if you were to park near like the Save Mart area, and then you have to go all the way to the lab schools and everything, or maybe like even farther, then maybe that would count as cardio. But other than that, just no, I don't. All the rest, no, I don't think that counts as cardio.
What about you?
That is very true. I see your point, and I'm going to respond with it with it's definitely cardio. Okay.
Okay. It's according to the convenience, right?
Exactly. Like, dude, if that doesn't count as cardio, then I don't ever exercise ever,
Okay.
and I can't live with that. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say that's definitely cardio. I be getting my heart rate up. I be sweating. I be running.
Okay. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of burst of activities in between times of sitting and just taking rest. So that's why I don't count it as a cardio.
Oh, it's definitely not cardio, like in the scientific sense.
Yeah, but we can say that we do something.
Exactly. Whatever helps me sleep at night.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a mixed bag. I think if you're parking at the Save Mart Center and you're going to Science 2 or to Social Sciences, I think it could be cardio just because of how far it is. But yeah, it's definitely not very intentional unless you make it intentional.
Yeah.
So, and it's probably not that long either. I mean, sometimes the walks are pretty long
Yeah.
campus, but
You can certainly work
Yeah.
up a sweat, but I just don't think, like, if you want to count it like exercise,
yeah.
and you got to be intentional about it.
Yeah.
So,
Or if it's really hot too.
yeah.
Like in the summer, oh,
Gosh.
it's so bad.
Yeah, you'll definitely work up a sweat.
Being late to class counts as cardio. It's not a lot of cardio, but it counts as some. Especially like you said, if you're going to Science 2 or Save Mart Center from the library, if you're parked there, it definitely counts as cardio more than riding your bike, riding a scooter or a
Right.
skateboard. Or especially if you're going to a building with a lot of floors, like the Peters Business Building. There's about 4 floors.
Right, or
Up there.
the industrial tech, right?
So that's a good incline workout. The incline if you're planning on running back down the stairs.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's
But
cardio.
Elevator does not count.
No.
Using the elevator does not
Sometimes
count.
the stairs is faster than the elevator.
Yeah. Right, but yeah, other than that, yeah, just being late to class, yeah, it's not really considered cardio. Question 3 states, create a survival kit for navigating a college cafeteria. What's in it?
I feel like the kit would be knowledge of what's good to eat, what's good to put in your body, like nutritious, and what's bad, like maybe what you should avoid. But as far as that goes, I don't have much input.
Honestly, don't know, because I've recently, very, very recently, trying to get into like nutrition. And I found this, I've been using this site, I think it's called like myplate.org, but it's through like this like health and wellness thing, and they also have like a registered dietitian and stuff like that. That is like giving this advice, so it's not just like a random person like
That is great.
eat this.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they show you like, it's so cool. So they show you like different grocery stores, and then they also show you like they have free recipes that are like for budget friendly stuff. And then they also talk about like obviously what you should be seeing on your plate consistently, like the grains and the protein, and yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea, but I just go what I feel like. Like I have fruits, veggies, proteins, and yeah, just that's it. And sometimes in my bag I have fruits and nuts. That's all. Water bottle to keep myself hydrated.
I can send you that link.
Thank you.
Check it out. It's cool.
That's a good one. I would add proteins such as chicken or beef jerky, and then some sort of fruit like apples, bananas, oranges. Get that fiber, potassium, or vitamin C. And then little bags of veggies like celery or carrots. So it's just easy to grab on the go. And water bottles, because we need to stay hydrated. That's really important. And so what about you? What would you say?
Well, for me, I'm more of like a chicken, rice, and Red Bull. So you can never forget Red Bull. And
It gives you wings.
yeah, it does gives you wings, none. But yeah, so for chicken and rice, usually like I said, from question 1, is that I would meal prep, make sure that all of my containers weighs about like 12 ounces and all that, because that's like enough for you to like consume that enough like protein intake. And so yeah, so chicken and rice, I'd say it's affordable because you're cooking it at home instead of like buying it like in Panda Express and all of that. So at least you have, you know, some food that you could just cook at home and then just bring it with you in college. And so
Yeah.
but yeah,
I think what's also important about making your own food is you know what you're putting in them. Like,
right,
you know what's healthy and what's not healthy compared to ordering from takeout.
right. And it's also like easy to track if you were to use the MyFitnessPal app.
Yeah.
So you would just track your own like meal preps, like, oh, okay, so my chicken breast weighs 12 ounces. That's like, you know, that's enough protein. And then you have like 1 cup of white rice and then whatever it's in it. And yeah, it's very, you know, it's easy to track. Whereas like what you said, let's say if you were to order something from like Panda Express, like the chiming and all of that, it's like, it's a little bit tricky because when you log into the MyFitnessPal app, it will have like multiple chimings, and then it has like several different like calories, several different like, you know, so, but yeah, I'd say it's easier if you were to like cook it, you know, at home. So
And takeout places tend to put MSG, which is not healthy.
oh
for the body
MSG.
too. Yeah.
MSG, yeah, it's yeah, so pretty much care to like clarify what MSG means, because like, you know, not a lot of people know what MSG.
Yeah, MSG is just like a sauce or seasoning that's not healthy.
Right.
A lot of Chinese Oriental restaurants put that in their foods, and it's just better to make it from home. It's
Right.
homemade.
Yeah, because like MSG is, it's what like lots of Asian people would like season their food with, and it's like, it's very, how do you say this? Help me out. It's like more like fatty in a way. It's not.
Yeah, it makes you feel bloated.
Right.
And
Right. Yeah.
it even makes your stomach hurt, which is, you know,
Yeah.
it's not
Which
good.
is not healthy. So
Yeah.
that's why we want to have like free MSG, like no MSG in our food. So.
And I think from what I read before too, it's hard to digest that kind of seasoning too.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you ask like your Asian friends, like, oh hey, what's MSG? Have you tried it? It's like, it's delicious, but it will make you feel bloated.
they're gonna give you that side eye look.
Yeah, like,
Don't do it.
don't do it. I mean, it's good, but don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me going back, can you explain the MyFitnessPal app in case
Oh, yeah,
viewers
of
don't
course.
know what that is?
Yeah, so the MyFitnessPal app, what that is basically like a fitness app where it tracks your calories, like your protein intake, your like how many carbohydrates that you've been, you know, consuming, and then how many fats you've been consuming. And so the MyFitnessPal app, it's free for everyone to use, both iOS and Android. And so pretty much all you have to do is just, as soon as you sign up for the MyFitnessPal app, you just track down like, okay, what's your starting weight? Let's say my starting weight, like for example for me, it would be like 190 pounds. And so it will ask you again, okay, so how much weight do you want to lose? And you can just, put in whichever number you want to lose. Like, let's say, I want to lose like, I don't know, like lose 20 pounds or so. Then you would put that. As soon as you're like done jotting down those numbers, the MyFitnessPal app, what that does is it will calculate every single like numbers and say, okay, this is how many calories that you need to consume, how many protein intakes you need to consume, how many carbs you need to consume, and how many fats you need to consume. It may be very daunting for new users because like, whoa, that's way too many numbers, like what am I supposed to do? And for me, I've been using the MyFitnessPal app for like 2 years now, and so all you have to do is just, let's say, like, you need to focus on your protein intake, right?
Yeah.
So let's say I weigh 190 pounds, you have to consume 190 grams, but yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Back in the day when I was eating from the cafeteria, it was really hard for me to not go straight to like the brownies and cookies and self-serve ice cream area first. But after a while I was like, I gotta find my balance. I gotta treat my body well and, put good nutrients in it that are gonna keep me energized and keep me like ready to tackle my day and all. So that I had to find like diversity in what they were offering. So sometimes that meant like making a salad or like having a like chicken wrap or getting creative with certain things. But it's definitely hard when they're only serving like a certain kind of food, and you're like, oh, like that's not super good for me, but like that's all I have to eat today. I don't know. I would just say like try to get creative. Yeah. Try to like figure out how to make it healthy or something, get those veggies in there.
So maybe creativity.
Yeah.
Let's see. Create a fitness class for lazy people. What would it involve?
I think one thing that like really defers people from getting into exercise or like staying consistent with exercise is just like biting off more than they can chew right off the bat. I think a lot of people are like super motivated at first, like for 2 weeks they're like, oh, I'm like really getting my grind in, but like after a while like you see the decline. And like I think that's because like a lot of people are like have this big expectation of like what they need to do, but like consistency I think is more important than anything. So like that could mean just going on a walk with your friends, like doing something intentional. Maybe it's like super easy, maybe you go down on the weights or something that day, but like I think as long as you're consistent you're gonna get something out of it, and you'll be good.
Do you feel like it's like an all or nothing mentality? Like sometimes people expect to do so much, and if they can't do that much, it's like, I'll just skip.
Yeah, I think that can definitely hinder some people. I know like sometimes I've like started off like super good, and then like I just hit a wall on week 3 out of nowhere, and it's like, where did that come from? But I know like some days you have work or like you're extra tired more than usual, and it's hard to like, maybe you're not hitting, the certain weights that you expected. It's okay to go lighter. It's okay to like, take a step back. Maybe you're running a mile instead of 5 miles, or you're going on a walk instead of running that day. Like it's okay. And you just got to cut yourself some slack, and maybe eventually you'll get out of your lazy mentality, and you'll become consistent in what you're doing. So
I agree. I feel like maybe too, if we had a workout plan that was super easy, like do 3 push-ups, and then people feel like they can conquer more, and they see themselves doing more and more, then it might feel like it's more achievable. And if they have to cut back, they're still doing something to like check off,
Yeah, like if you're starting off easier, then maybe you're not getting to a point where you feel like you have to cut back because it is easy. Yeah, it could be good. So, but I think like also, getting friends, like
community,
finding a community doing stuff with, like that makes things like a lot easier when you're trying to be consistent and you're trying to work up to a certain point. Like having someone there to like fall back on or keep you consistent and stuff, like that's also super important. So
I think so, yeah.
I would recommend that.
Do you think it matters if it's somebody that is experienced or someone as inexperienced as you?
It does. I don't think it matters, because I think like for both people it's really beneficial to have someone. Like even if you're inviting someone who's like way more advanced to you to like a cycle class, like you guys are still getting a lot out of it, you know, like you're both getting something out of it, and having each other to keep you accountable is more important than like having to be as good as someone else, you know, or having to be like at the same point in your fitness journey. And like you can use that other person to guide you or be the person to guide this other person, and I think that's like a really good dynamic to have too.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
I don't know, because honestly, like if you're doing any type of movement, then you're not lazy. I feel like college kids in general get labeled as lazy, and they're not. Like, do you even know how much we're doing, like, on a day-to-day basis? Like, but I feel like, I'll say it this way, like, a simple exercise that's helped me, especially being, like, an office worker, is chair yoga. Or, like, chair exercises, so when you're, like, sitting at your desk, you can
those
be,
are
like,
nice. I've never tried them, but I think I should.
They're so nice, and they help so much, because after a day at work, my back, especially my lower back, is just, like,
Yeah, for me, I think if I'd create a fitness class, so it would be like gentle body movements and relaxation, like stretching, yoga, or meditation. Yeah, I think these are some of the stuff which we can do. Like, we can do while sitting and just enjoy the thing.
Yeah, you need, especially right now, since we're so busy, like, you need to find things that just fit into your schedule and do them when you can.
Yeah,
like,
it's better than doing nothing. Like, something is better than doing nothing, right?
Exactly. As long as you're, like, putting in somewhat of an effort and, like, an attempt is made, you should feel good about that.
Yeah, I'm always thinking about doing something. I am not able to do that much, but I'm always in my mind thinking about like living some kind of healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, I feel that. One day when we're like super rich and stuff, and it'll be that day.
Okay.
When we have time.
Yeah, that's nice. But I don't think we ever have time, like full of time to do like exercise and taking care of ourselves. We are always busy in something, some work.
It's so like true. It's so tricky to balance life and everything. Maybe when we're retired.
Yeah.
Maybe when we're like 90.
Oh my god.
We can go cycling or something.
That's nice.
I'd say like, you know, when those like I think the aerobic classes where like there's like in one room you have like lots of people and then you have like one fitness instructor. That's what I would do. So I would like introduce, you know, these people like the like body weight exercises, like, you know, it's like new to them, right? So then I would introduce them like doing like dips or doing like leg exercises that only requires like just their own body weight without any like equipment or anything. But yeah, how about you, Matthew?
For me, I would say a walking class is a good idea. It's something simple, and you can't really fail a walking class, and you can walk at your own pace during your leisure time. Also, like something anyone's interested in, some sort of hobby such as basketball, bowling, whatever drives people to get involved and active. Another thing I would add is just calisthenics, like you mentioned, body weight. So push-ups, dips, jumping jacks, something simple. You can do it anywhere from the comfort of your own home even, and it's really accessible to do as well.
Yeah. So like for I know some viewers here may not understand like what do you mean by calisthenics? Like, do you mind like
definitely
elaborate like a little bit on it maybe?
Sure. There's even 30-day calisthenics plans. You can just, it's all body weight exercises. There's no weights involved, and you can do push-ups, dips, jumping jacks, as I mentioned, sit-ups even. It's just full body weight and completely accessible. You can do it when you travel. If you're in a hotel, just feel free to do it in your hotel room, and it's really cost-effective too.
Okay, so I have another follow-up question. So how would someone be like stay disciplined? Because I know like you have new gym people. They were like, oh, like I'm so pumped up, I want to work out, like, you know, they have this like massive like motivation, but then as they continue to like go into that same class and it, you know, it dies down, how do you stay disciplined?
I would say just take it day by day, one day at a time, and just go at your own pace. Like, it's okay to fail too. I know we're not encouraging people to fail, but just go at your own pace, start slow, work your way up. And, you know, there's even an option to work out with a partner. Work out with them encourages you to be more motivated.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, I'd say bring their friends.
Yeah.
Because their friends, they also may love to work out with you. And so it doesn't matter if you have a friend who's like more experienced or you have a friend who's like inexperienced, because like it goes both ways. If someone were to like, let's say both of you guys are like inexperienced, at least both of you guys are like learning. Whereas if someone were to be that's one. Okay. Okay, gotcha. But yeah, other than that, bring a friend to work out with you.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't mind sharing with the viewers, but you and I are planning on working out, so that's a good way to motivate others to ourselves, and that's just a good way to stay healthy, active, and yeah.
Do you have any inputs, any suggestions you want to add?
I would say definitely take advantage of the rec center here. It comes with our tuition, and it's not far at all.
Oh yeah, I agree. Rec center is fun, and you have like a fun gym community.
Make sure you're following us on Instagram at FS Health Center, where we're going to share more opportunities to take that deeper dive into wellness and to have some fun at the same time. You can also visit our website at fresnostate.edu/health to learn more about the programs and services available at the Student Health and Counseling Center.